You're listening to an Airwave Media Podcast.
Hi, my name is Blake, and I have just a quick note before we get started. Actually, it's more like a recommendation because this podcast is an immersive audio storytelling experience, part fact, part fantasy. It's best that you listen with headphones on, imagination on, and everything else turned off. Welcome to Abandoned, the All-American Ruins podcast.
The road continues over numerous streams and rivers, winding through pleasantly undulating country, where pine and fir woods alternate with land cleared for agriculture, though there still exist a number of the old wooden houses resting solidly on foundations. The peasant dwelling from a distance gives a picturesque impression, surrounded by golden fields of corn and dark green pine trees. The harvest corn is one of the most striking features of the Finnish countryside.
This is a Finnish ghost story. It's just a short walk, a straight shot through some fields where you can hear the sounds of distant highway, and then woods on a gravel country road, until you come to a small, unenthused bridge, where you have to make one of two choices. Veer right and continue over the bridge that passes between two sides of a small lake, or veer left onto the overgrown driveway of the abandoned red country home in the middle of the woods. I make a measured approach and quickly realize how difficult navigating to the house will be. The thick of tall weeds and shoots and brambles and the swarms of famished mosquitoes overwhelms me. I also still can't see the house. I just have to trust that it's exactly where my friend says it is. The house is in the woods next to a farm, which belongs to my friend's family. I can't give away her name or the name of the farm itself because I've been sworn to secrecy. Apparently, it's a really delicate subject in the town, a gossip-ridden cottage that my friend, a Finnish angel, voiced concern over my going alone to the abandoned house in the middle of the Finnish countryside, even though she and her sister went so far as to show me exactly where it was on Google Maps. But the thing is that everything on planet Earth looks far less intimidating from up above, in outer space. I think that's something a lot of astronauts probably think when they see it from all the way up there. Carl Sagan had his own way of writing about it through his famous pale blue dot.
Consider again that dot. That's here. That's home. That's us. On it, everyone you love, everyone you know, everyone you ever heard of, every human being who ever was, lived out their lives. The aggregate of our joy and suffering, thousands of confident religions, ideologies, and economic doctrines, every hunter and forager, every hero and coward, every creator and destroyer of civilization, every king and peasant, every young couple in love, every mother and father, hopeful child, inventor and explorer, every teacher of morals, every corrupt politician, every superstar, every supreme leader, every saint and sinner in the history of our species lived there, on the mote of dust, suspended in a sunbeam. The Earth is a very small stage in a vast cosmic arena.
What I always gleaned from that quote is that life on Earth, as big and as complicated and as scary as it can be, does not seem to be any of those things from all the way up there. And that bird's eye view high above the farm in Finland, passed down for centuries by my friend's family, wrought with legends of ghosts and war, features a unique cast of characters. And it's just a teeny tiny portion of the planet that is just that. Unintimidating.
The scene changes gradually after 100 miles the cornfields slowly giving way to country that is more hilly, more thickly wooded, and interspersed with lakes and rivers. Finland is called the land of 1,000 lakes, though actually there are some 60,000 of them. And from any hilltop there stretches an imposing panorama of green foliage and sparkling blue water. A bird's-eye view shows the beautiful surroundings of forest and lake. From the mighty forests of the interior is drawn a supply of wood which brings to the country a sum of 40 million pounds.
From above, all 5 buildings on the property, immediately adjacent to my friend's family farm, look spacious and calm and secluded enough for a solo Sunday trek in August at dusk. When I first started the 17-minute walk from the farm to the abandoned house in the middle of the woods, I felt like I was doing something reasonable by myself, but as I get closer to the property, I can't seem to shake this slight feeling of uneasiness. I acted very concerned at the idea of me going by myself at dusk. Or maybe it's because the sun is slowly starting to go down. But once I begin to traipse onto the property, I start to see the buildings. They feel alive. This is unlike any abandoned landscape I've seen before. 5 structures, all the same color red, of various sizes and functions, from an oversized garden shed to the main house. All completely invisible to the human eye because Mother Nature, slowly but surely, gobbles up any proof of human existence here. Vines and branches, stories tall grass, and legions of pests buzz and crawl about while I advance into the madness, wondering why, out loud, I decided to wear a goddamn tank top of all garments. Why did I choose to wear this goddamn tank top, is the question I have. Especially this far north on the globe, where summer days last past 9 p.m., and when the sun still shines over the top of the misty trees and dazzles the sky with its brilliance. This dusty, winding road, guided and guarded by forest on all sides, didn't provide any indication that actually getting into the house was going to be this difficult. There is local legend about the owner of the house, and many rumors about why he left it vacant. As it turns out, gossip is the same, no matter where you go. You also have to keep in mind that this entire region of the Nordic country is overrun with history and mythology that concerns a ton of ghosts.
For centuries, Finland was a battleground, the theater of war between the conflicting imperial ambitions of Sweden and Russia. But in 1807 it became part of the Russian Empire as a self-governing duchy, until in 1917 revolution overthrew the Tsarist regime and Finland gained her independence. The ravages of war and the destruction by
I was told repeatedly that there is some kind of presence in the house, and I almost see it lingering in front of me even before I set foot onto the front porch, which is quaint, tiny and closed, and acts like a portico to welcome visitors into the house, surrounded on all sides by dirty white walls, a small oven, and a pair of work boots sitting inside. I know that whoever or whatever is on the other side of the front door needs me to come in nice and easy. Say hello gently, respectfully. It's the first moment where I can hear the ghost of the grocer in my head. I creak open the door and step into the humble cottage. And I listen, quietly. One ear pointed in the vague direction of the center of the house because sound is clearer than sight. I can only hear my 2 lungs taking stock of the dimly lit room, partially due to a lack of electricity, partially due to the thick vines that lay on top of the home, bolstered by brush and those famished mosquitoes I mentioned earlier. The windows are covered, so light can't slip into the canopied space, which only adds to the eeriness of its location, roughly 175 kilometers north of Helsinki. As I move into the first room, the first thing I see is a large kitchen with a massive traditional Finnish oven. I can almost smell the Finnish breakfast pastries, staring at the red walls hovering over all sorts of things left behind. Coffee cans and dishes and appliances and a flag of Finland standing on the kitchen counter. It's tough to capture the images at first, but as I allow my eyes to adjust to the low light, photographing everything with my iPhone becomes a bit easier. I've never claimed to be a professional photographer. I leave that work to my many talented friends in the Urbex community. I scan the room and slowly begin to hear the sounds of the family's breakfast on Finnish Christmas. I'm amazed by the gargantuan size of the oven. This gray beauty, lined with tacky vinyl runners, topped with old recipe books, and shadowed by the images of vegetables on the tile wall behind it, throws me, because my only point of reference is a pizza oven. I marvel at the condition of the intentional construction, and the rest of the house, really. I assume it was only recently abandoned, but I learn later that it's been vacant for about 30 years, which would account for the deep layers of plant life, barring access to the sun on all sides.
There were statues everywhere. The Maid of Helsinki, the waiter, the shipwreck, symbolizing Finland's appeal for help some 50 years ago. Mother and child. No wonder the statues are called the beautiful ladies of Helsinki. And people going about their lives like people everywhere. But this was Helsinki.
I stand there curious, filled with questions, and I glance right into the next room. I begin to make an approach towards the soft glow that emits from the late golden hour, that squeezes through every crack and crevice it can to illuminate as much surface coverage as it has been permitted. I pass through the room, a bedroom, and enter a connecting second bedroom. And the moment I step into the chamber, a chill runs up my spine. It moves across my left shoulder, then up along the back of my neck, and across to the other side like a ball that I'm balancing, rolling back and forth like a circus act. The localized drop in temperature doesn't last long, and while it startles me, I am not afraid of the ghost who just brushed my skin. A gentle hello. You are welcome here, it says. Out of respect, I say, I won't be long. I promise. And I stay true to my word. The light is too dim for photos at this point anyway. Once I enter the first bedroom, I take stock of everything inside. I note the centerpiece first. A small, modest twin bed pushed up against the far wall. The head of the bed facing a tall bookshelf with all kinds of books, encyclopedias, magazines, plus a kid's anthology about Apollo missions 1 through 13. I wonder how many kids lived here. I sit on the orange blanket sprawled across the bed, breaking a rule to never sit on furniture, and I glance at an old alarm clock in the window bay, parked next to a pamphlet for some kind of martial arts studio. I graze my feet along the black and yellow carpet, still in fairly good condition, overshadowed by the bizarre fur coat that splayed out and hung above the bed, abreast with all sorts of Finnish tourist flags, all strung together, sloppily, covering up a portion of the cracked concrete that looks like it's coated in impressions of bird feet. I think about that scene in Disney's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, when Snow White makes a pie that's edge-pressed by two birds who hop around its circumference until they meet again in the middle. I always wanted to bake a pie like that. I pull one of the Apollo books off the shelf and crack it open. All sorts of Finnish words surround photographs and drawings of astronauts and shuttles and of space itself. I pick up another book, and I open it, scan the pages, and suddenly feel sad. It doesn't feel like the ending to this house was very happy. I think about my hometown library, hours spent on weekends with my mom, poring through books and learning to play pretend through the written word. I look back at the window and admire the fake plastic flowers that cover the surface of the ledge. As I turn back around, I see him sitting there, in a small wooden chair up against a window. He doesn't notice me because he's too busy talking to himself. I have no idea who he is, so I leave quickly, gently. Was he really there? I reach the clearing next to a small bridge at the front of the property, and I turn back to examine it one last time. I can't see the main house anymore, only the small studio up front that I don't have time to explore because the sun has abruptly set and there's not enough natural light to guide me back. Out of all the spaces I've visited before, this one was the most preserved. No graffiti, no broken windows, nothing was stolen. Just a time capsule of a cottage, unnoticeable from the road in the middle of the ghostly Finnish woods. If you're just tuning in, welcome to the third season of Abandoned, the All-American Ruins podcast. Join me every other week as I take you on an immersive sonic journey, recounting my expeditions of abandoned spaces across the United States, which I transform into fantastical audio experiences that allow you, dear listener, to dive into my imagination with me, or maybe inspire you to go out and use your own. If you don't want to miss it, please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And, please rate, subscribe, review. Also, if you like to read or enjoy amateur photography, just know that each episode this season is adapted from the original All-American Ruins blog, where you can catch up on more of my adventures. Just head to allamericanruins.com, or you can follow me on Instagram at allamericanruins. Abandoned, the All-American Ruins podcast is written, edited, hosted, and produced by me, Blake File, with studio space courtesy of Radio Kingston, WKNY, AM 1490, FM 1079 in Kingston, New York. Also, a huge shout out to my big brother Ryan, who provided very valuable feedback on every script for every episode this season. And thank you, my friend, for taking the time to explore these abandoned spaces with me.